Good afternoon, YouTubers. It's afternoon. It's Friday afternoon, September 14th. Rocky's going berserk over there because I'm out here and he's in there and I'm out here. I just wanted to take a little walk through the garden. The garden looks its best around September, late August, September. Right, Papash? I'm coming. I'm coming. So this year I actually planted some vines and I did multiple seeds because I wasn't sure how successful I was going to be. So here we have multiple vines. Look how beautiful that is over here. Look at that. These beautiful vines. We also have some passion fruit. So the passion fruit did grow again this year. But I do want to let you know that it did make its way outside of the pot that I thought I would be able to contain it in. It made its way out of it. So even with a pot, the passion fruit will escape. Here's my beautiful elephant ears. Just gonna walk through here. So like I said, I planted multiple vine plants because I wasn't sure how successful I was going to be. So there's different ones growing here, different colors, different varieties. How beautiful that is, the reds. I just love these, just love it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this again next year because this just, it seems like a bit much, and as you can see here, everything is just fighting for space. But I do like some of the effects. Rose of Sharon over here. Some more elephant ears, and I actually love the elephant ears. Just give it a nice, almost prehistoric look. And I'm just going to take you over here. I did get a Musa this year because that was one of my goals, is to add some more palms to our palm patio area. And I got this Musa this year. I actually got two of them. And as you can see, they're just making their way, they're making themselves at home. Look at these huge palms. Oh, just so beautiful. Making its way, making itself at home here. And look, we got some seedlings coming up too, some babies coming up. There's one over there. And then there's one right here. I'm so excited about that. I'm just a little leery on whether or not I want to leave it in the ground over the winter or pull it up. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do this year. I'm thinking maybe if I heavily mulch it, I'll be okay. It's supposed to be able to survive winters with some good mulch, so I think I may just end up buying a good amount of mulch, just some extra mulch for protection. But it's doing so well. Look at these. Look at, and it's still shooting up. There's another. You see, there's another palm shooting up there. But these are just so huge. Look, this is the look we're going for around this patio area. This is our pawpaw tree. This year, the pawpaws. That one over there's a pawpaw right over there. There's one over here. It does need to cross-pollinate. But the one that we have over there did flower this year. It looked as though it was going to produce fruit, but everything fell off, which is okay. Normally you see that. That's common when trees are first starting to fruit, for them to drop their fruit. So I'm really, really excited. I'm looking forward to getting some pawpaws next year. But I have some more exciting news. So this is our sea buckthorn. Look at that. Look at that. This is our sea buckthorn, and as you can see, this is its first year producing the berries. So I just want to let you know. I'm just going to have another taste of it before I describe it. There is some tartness, but there's almost like an aftertaste, a citrusy aftertaste to it. I enjoy eating them just the way I'm picking them. Would I be able to eat a ton of them? Probably not. But they have so many nutritional values to them that even just coming out here every once in a while and just munching on a few, it's worth it. I did also read that you can make tea from the leaves. I do want to tell you though that it does shoot out. You see over here? It does shoot out some suckers, and they do kind of spread out. On this particular sea buckthorn, I did end up having to just dig it up slightly and just bring it away from the fence more. Only because I felt it was, with the way it was growing, is just growing way too, towards the fence, and it was just rubbing up against the fence. So I did dig it up to just move it a little farther away from the fence, and I did notice that the root system spreads. So the root system had actually already gone underneath the hydrangeas and moved off out there. And I'm not sure if there's any suckers coming up from my neighbor's side, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were some. But you can easily pull it up and, probably control it that way. But I'm very excited. These are the first year. We got the berries. Look how beautiful they are. And again, there is some tartness. I'm sure I don't know if there's enough to make juice out of it. But for me, I'll come out here and just eat a few. And the tart it's not like a lemon tart. I'm trying to just find a good way to describe it. It's mild, it's tolerable. And again, when you taste it, for me anyway, everybody has their own taste buds, but for me, after tasting it, I sort of get a comeback of citrusy aftertaste, if that makes any sense. But yeah, sea buckthorn. Another thing I do want to say, that if you have young children, this may not be a good plant to get, because as it matures, you can see over here, you got some thorns. And I've just pruning it back, keeping it under control. I have been pricked a few times, and it's pretty bad, the thorns on this plant. You probably don't want to have young children playing near this plant, especially at this size, because the thorns at this size are very hard and dry. And even pushing up against it, anybody playing and maybe trip towards it or something, can get pricked really bad. You can see here this branch. You see these pricks right there? Look at that. Right here. So the thorns are pretty bad. So it may not be something that you want to have in your garden with children around, or if you still would like to have this, maybe just have it protected. Maybe have a fence around it just to keep your kids away from it. But yeah, sea buckthorn. Very, very excited that we are finally able to harvest some berries from it. this year. I also did annuals, which I don't normally do, but I did want to have a steady color palette, if you will, in my garden. And so I got these coleuses. Look how gorgeous they look. So the secret to annuals, just I'll tell you what I do here just to get them this big and to keep them going. Once a week, Miracle Grow. So, you know, keep them watered well, because coleuses you don't want your coleuses to really dry out. But once a week, if you feed them with some Miracle Grow, you will get the most out of your annuals, because, you know, they do have a short lifespan through your seasons, especially in the Northeast, Zone 6B. These aren't going to survive the winter. I don't have room in my house to actually pull them up and bring them indoors. I might do that maybe with a couple, but I'm not, you know, a lot of these plants that I have out here, I bring my indoor plants out so they can enjoy the weather, and a lot of them are going to come back in. So I'm going to have a limited amount of space for any new plants. But to get the most out of your annuals, once you put them in, when it's safe to put them in, you know, Miracle Grow once a week, which will help them, you know, grow more quickly and fill your garden area. And, you know, just continue to do that as the months go by, and you will not be disappointed, you know. They love it. My Rose of Sharon is also shooting up some more suckers there. Well, actually, these are from seeds. So, you know, as these dry out, as the blooms dry out, they do produce seeds. And I actually did sprinkle some intentionally, because I love, 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 love. Make sure I got a good, love this pink. I love that pink. That screams out tropical. If that doesn't scream out tropics, I don't know what does. But I love this pink, and I do want to have a few of them just kind of spread out, but under control. I'm not going to allow the Rose of Sharon to just kind of overgrow itself. I'm going to just so that I can have some pink flowers, because that definitely says tropical to me. You got more coleuses over here. You got more Musas. So these particular Musas, I was looking for more Musas. This year was my Musa year, where I was going to hunt down some Musas. So we have the one over there that I bought on eBay. These over here are just a little different. If you can see there's some reddish tones to it. And I'm not sure with the reddish tones if these are going to be as winter hardy as my pure green one. The palms on that one are completely green, and I know that that's a good characteristic of a hardier Musa versus this one. And you can see even here, there's just a little bit of a reddish tone to it, even right in between here. And through experience, I noticed that anything with a colorful palette tends to, excuse my finger, tends to kind of be more on the tropical side, maybe more sensitive to cold. So these particular ones, and there's about 4 of them, I'm definitely going to dig these up and winterize, or bring them indoors for the winter. And then next year, I'm not going to have them bunched up like this. They were actually very, very small plants, and they grew very large, as you can see with the season. This was one season they were very, very small, and look at them now. But next year, these are going to get dug up and put away, so that next year I'll kind of spread them out. I may even just line them up. Let's take a walk over here. Line them up, just lined them up in between the grasses, just to have a nice effect. Look at that beautiful elephant ear over here too. Look at that. Look at the beautiful colors just looking from this direction. We have, I also dug up our bamboo over there, Alphonse Carr bamboo, which I felt was diminishing I left it in the ground, but it wasn't adjusting to the winters too well. Every year it did come up, but it was less and less bamboo, so I dug it up, afraid that maybe if I left it in the ground every winter, it would eventually end up dying or weakening from the winter. So I just dug it up. I put it in pots and bring it indoors, and then come springtime, I'll bring it out. It can tolerate up to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, so anything below that, it'll die to the ground. So come April, when I know the temperatures aren't going to fall that low or that cold, I'll just bring them out here so they can just start adjusting to the outdoors, and they do really well over there. I did do a video on this particular plant, which I can't remember the name of right now, so if you like these colors, look how gorgeous that is. Check out my video. I have a lot of information on it. It's very cold hardy, and I just love the contrast in between the grasses. I also did a video on these that I actually bought this year from a supplier. I gave a review. If you guys are interested in getting some, and I believe those are coleuses, I definitely recommend the supplier. Very, very healthy bulbs that I got in the mail. I bought them online, and I'm very happy with the way they're coming up. Look at that. And I believe it's Florida Boys Caladium. Florida Boys Caladium out of Florida. But I do have a video on it with all the information on how to order your caladiums from them. Oh, and by the way, let me show you. Look at that. We got a bloom there. Look at that, how beautiful that looks. I love the reddish tones back there too. And I'm not sure if I want to dig these up. I'm thinking of actually heavily mulching this area here, just to see if by heavily mulching it, the caladium bulbs will survive and come back next year. So I'll experiment on that this year, and come next spring, hopefully they will come back, and I'll report report that to you guys. Who may be interested in getting plants who are cold sensitive, maybe by heavily mulching it. And I did actually plant these pretty far in the ground. I believe I did about 6 inches. And there are some annuals, and I'll actually thinking of doing a separate video on this. There are some annuals that if you dig about 6 inches in the ground with some protection, mulching, they will come back every year. And there are some certain plants out there that will do that. But I'll do a separate video on that, so you guys can, be informed of it. Some of you may already know about it, but it's good to share that information, what kind of plants are successful with that method. So I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying your garden just as much as I am. This wood path was done this year, which we were very happy with. No more mud. And we're hoping that next year will be just as successful as this year. We're so happy with the projects that we got going on in the garden. We're actually thinking of building another patio underneath our grapevine. We got a grapevine down there, and we're looking to maybe just build a patio over there as well, just so that there's other spaces in the garden that you can go and hang out at. And but I thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you guys have a wonderful day.